Hello, welcome to Painted Forest Art. I'm Rebecca. And usually in my regular painting videos, I talk a lot about the inspiration behind a piece. It's usually based on a historical piece or a style of art or a landscape, but those things are direct inspiration. Today I want to focus more on the things that may not directly influence any piece that you ever do, but are still important to the creative process. I know that I've always done things that don't ever make it into a finished piece, and they often don't have anything to do with the actual project that I'm working on. Things like doodling, singing, or hiking outside. I used to not think very highly of these things sometimes, and was even kind of embarrassed about them, but over the years I heard about people studying these kinds of things, and far from being distractions, a lot of times these side things that we do actually help us process our main work. There are a lot of names for these kinds of things. Right now a lot of people put quite a few of these activities into the idea of wellness and general well-being. But to me that's really vague and can encompass almost anything. So for creative projects, I think calling them indirect inspiration really makes them sound more important to the creative process. I feel better about taking time to do these things when I tell myself that they really are part of the process and not just wasting time or procrastinating. A big one for me is being outside. I love being outdoors in nature. I grew up out in the country in Missouri, and now I live in New Hampshire, where there's a lot of woods and mountains to explore.
And obviously, my daughter is a huge source of inspiration to me as well.
I'll probably never paint most of the places that I go, but just seeing them makes me feel better and more creative. This is a big part of why I love science as well, because nature was all around me growing up, and I wanted to understand it better. I found fossils in the rocks in the creek behind our house, and sometimes the bones of animals out in the woods, and so later in life I studied paleontology in college. And while now I don't often paint animals, or rocks, or landscapes, just seeing them can make me feel more creative. My love of traveling does often involve being outdoors, but because it also encompasses so much more, I consider it its own form of indirect inspiration. Travel to somewhere new always gets your creative juices flowing, which is why so many artists enter new phases of their work after they travel somewhere that they hadn't been before. Unfortunately, right now, because of COVID-19, we can't travel for real. I was planning on using some pictures from my daughter's field trip to the Currier Museum of Art here in New Hampshire as some of the background photos for this, but since school has been canceled for the foreseeable future, all the field trips have been canceled as well, and the museum itself is closed. Which is necessary, but is really unfortunate because it is a great place to go to get inspiration for your creative projects. Thankfully, many museums have parts of their collections online, so you can get the inspiration of seeing something amazing from the safety of your own home. I don't know about you, but when I travel, I'm not usually the type to lounge around on a beach chair. I tend to get kind of bored. And I like to incorporate history and architecture or natural science into it. I often like to sketch the things that I see and collect rocks from the places that we go. And doing those things help me to keep feeling creative once I get back home. I do want to say you don't have to go very far or spend a lot of time or money for it to feel like traveling. And even if you've been there before, you can experience a place in a new way. And that'll make the trip more fun. My last inspiration is crafting and art, and I know that seems like kind of a weird indirect inspiration for creative projects since they require their own creative inspiration, but I mean small things that don't directly tie into your main bigger projects. For example, I found within the last couple of years that I really enjoy crocheting, and I understand crochet the way that some people do it is its own art form and is very spectacular, but I do really simple projects, and I mostly do it while watching and listening to TV or YouTube videos, just as a way to kind of keep my hands busy, but it also makes me feel like I've really completed something. You know, in a day when maybe I don't feel like doing a whole lot, then I can sit and watch a video and crochet a little bit, and I've got those lines of crochet, of a blanket or whatever, that make me feel like I've really accomplished something. And my job actually also involves a lot of crafting skills. I work part-time at the Children's Museum of New Hampshire as an exhibits assistant, and obviously right now we're closed, but normally I'm in the basement storage area workshop space, and I help to repair things that are broken and also oversee a couple smaller exhibits. The job is extremely fun and varied. I could be making capes so kids can pretend to be caddisflies one day, and painting the body of a triceratops head the next. I've learned several new skills with this job, and it usually keeps me on my toes. So for me, it helps my creativity to watch other people making works of art or being creative, and so hopefully my videos can be a source of indirect inspiration for you. So thank you so much for watching, and please let me know in the comments below what you do for your indirect inspiration for your creative projects. Thank you. Bye!